My name's Peter Hennessy, I'm an artist, and I'm standing in front of my Humvee Inversion Therapy, which is the sculpture that I've been commissioned to make for the 2008 Melbourne Art Fair. I'm quite interested in something that we see on TV a lot, something we're very aware of visually, but that we don't ever get an opportunity to experience physically. And I think there's something very different about standing next to something compared to actually just seeing a picture of it. It's a very accurate one-to-one reenactment of a US military Humvee Jeep vehicle that they use throughout their theatres of operations. The process for this work, I start with a lot of reference information that I collect from the internet, essentially, just stuff that's out there, dimensions, photos, things like that. I build a accurate three-dimensional model that I use, and then from there I start to generate all the parts. It's basically like building an Airfix kit from scratch, but you actually have to build the kit as well. It's made from somewhere between 40 to 60 sheets of plywood, actually, a tonne and a half of plywood all told, I think. It is a very familiar object. It's the one that we see trundling around in Iraq constantly, but what I've done is I've taken it, reproduced it and sat it on its nose, which does a number of things to it, I think. On one level it kind of transforms it into something a little ridiculous, almost like a toy. But on another level, it also transforms it into something very precarious and very unstable. And so there's a clear kind of metaphor in the transformation of an object which is designed to be ultimately practical, ultimately stable, ultimately invulnerable, into something that is kind of precarious and unstable. I tend to focus on works that are accessible visually but not physically. Part of it comes from working for a long time in digital media, working as a 3D modeler and animator programmer. I spend a lot of my time digitizing things, kind of taking things that exist in the real world and transforming them into kind of insubstantial information. And so part of it is just a response to that, the idea of actually undigitizing something, taking something that exists in the media space and turning it into something actually physical. I did spend probably too long with my Lego. The fact that it has to sit on its nose presents a lot of sort of technical problems, coupled with the fact that I'd be enormously embarrassed if it actually fell on somebody. So that was kind of terrifying at times, but we sort of solved all those problems, and it was enormously satisfying to see it come into this space. It sort of became almost small again, actually, after being in our studio, which is a substantial space, but it was enormous thing to work on. But now it's here. I always imagined it in this space. I knew that it was going to go here, so it just feels exactly perfect here.